Hi, and welcome to my Christmas home tour today. I'm Chelsi Stratton from Chelsi Stratton Designs, and I'm very excited to show you a few of the ways that I decorate and present my home during the Christmas holiday season. So today I'm going to show you a few parts of my home where you'll see some quilts, and you'll see maybe some table runners and some pillows and some very important traditional items that have been passed down to me. So let's get started. One of the very first things that I want to show you in this video are the stockings that you see hung on the wall. They are a long tradition in my family, and these first two stockings on the wall were crocheted by my great-grandmother, who has since now passed, and she made one of these stockings for each of her children and each of her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren. And it is such a treasure to me that I still have these. And once I got married, she made one for my husband. And so that has been something very, very special to me. I love the tradition that she started of passing those down to each of her family members. And she did pass away before she was able to make any for my children, but my mom, Sherry, of A Quilting Life, was able to carry on this tradition of making stockings. And she sewed the 3 stockings you see here for each of my 3 children. And I just thought that was so sweet and kind of her to carry that tradition on that meant so much to me growing up. Also, my kids love a good Christmas countdown. I'm sure you have children or grandchildren that love something that's fun and interactive for your little ones that you love. And my kids really love this one by One Canoe 2 that they started doing last year. And you just get to place the stickers on the poster each day up until Christmas. And so we have started this as a new tradition in our family for a Christmas countdown. Okay, so this is my entryway when you walk into my home. And I always have a nativity out. And we have a cute little shop in our town called The Front Porch, and they carry a lot of fun Christmas ornaments and decorations. And so you'll see a large Christmas tree vintage poster, and I have a letters to Santa bin, and the kids love throughout the season to put letters to Santa in the bin, and their friends of course too. And just some of my favorite ornaments and things that are very, very special to me are on this table in my entryway. This is one of my favorite spaces in my home just because I love to play on the piano. I am not very good by all means, but I do love tinkering around on it. But it's also a place where I can put some of the things that are very dear to me. And when I was younger, I received some beautiful music boxes from my grandmothers that were very important to me. And something I am so fond of is my great-grandma had music boxes all over her home, and I would play each one, and I just remember the sounds of them. And so my mom carried on that tradition, and she had a whole table lined with Christmas music boxes while we were growing up. And so this snow globe music box is one of my very favorites. That was mine growing up. So when I was married, I got to take this with me. And there's just one more that is very special to me. My great-grandmother owned a furniture store, and she gifted this to me on my first birthday. And I thought it was so special, and every year I would just mess around with it and play with it. And as you can see, it still works, and as years went by, it would kind of not work a little bit. And so every year I play it and it has continued to work, which has surprised me because I messed around with it so much as a child. So this one means a lot to me. Something really exciting happened this year. You may have seen this cabinet on my social media. Somebody was selling this in our small little town, and I just couldn't pass it up because it is the perfect cabinet to store quilts in. And I feel very blessed that I have it now because, hey, more storage means more quilts. So I am going to open this up for you to show you this cabinet. And as you can see, I have switched out all of my summer and fall quilts, and there are no Christmas quilts in here because they are all spread out throughout my home for Christmas. So that's exciting, or they would be in here stacked up. But I usually do holiday themed quilts in the bottom portion of the cabinet. And I'll do summer and spring and non-seasonal in this top part of the cabinet. And I'm very excited to hopefully fill it up with more quilts. But I feel so grateful that I was able to acquire it, and it has been the perfect addition to our home. As well as this cabinet, I also store quilts in baskets throughout my home, and I just switch those out. So you'll see a picture of that come up, and I have some Christmas quilts in a basket right now in my family room. But I really have enjoyed having this cabinet to be able to store quilts. It's very important that quilts do not have direct sunlight. The quilts that I have displayed in my home, they are switched out quite often, so they're not getting any direct sunlight. So most of the time throughout the year, the quilts will be in this cabinet where they won't experience any damage, but it's always so fun when I get to pull them out and switch them out with other quilts throughout my home. I recently got a new dining table just to have a little bit more space, and Mom had been telling me, you need a new runner for your table, and this table is a bit bigger than our last family dining table. And this Christmas, she surprised me with this beautiful table runner that she made that is the perfect size for my dining room table. And I was very surprised and very excited about it because table runners are a great way to show off some of your very favorite fabrics during the Christmas season. And I just love having this one on display in my home. And also, I feel pretty lucky because a good friend of mine made me some holiday cookies that will be probably eaten up very quickly after we film this video. And something else is when we first moved into this home, we planted some fruit trees. And it took quite a few years of nurturing this orange citrus tree. And now we get such a great bounty from it of wonderful oranges that taste so good, and they are just about perfect right around Christmas. And so we just harvested these that you see on my table, and we will be very excited to make some homemade orange juice for Christmas morning. There's just one last thing I want to show you. I'm very excited about it because my little town quilt came back from the quilters all before Christmas, and she did such a wonderful job quilting it. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. You may have seen the little town quilt on my social media. I made this using Folktale by Vanessa Gertzen of Lela Boutique, and I also did the backing as one of her large florals. I just think it's so pretty. But I want to hold it up for just a second to show you the whole quilt. Here it is. And I just think it turned out so beautifully. And I'm going to be making this quilt in other fabrics as well. I know I've talked about that on my social media, but I just wanted to share with everyone the full quilt quilted. So, and I'm also going to bind it in one of Vanessa Gertzen's fabrics as well. So I hope you enjoyed this Christmas home tour where I shared ways to store your quilts, display table runners, and decorations and decor throughout your home. I'm so happy that I got to share some of my very favorite traditions with all of you. And if you are looking for the Little Town quilt, you can find it in the description of this video. There will be a link to my Etsy shop where you will be able to find it. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I will be happy to answer any of those for you. And I wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for stopping by.